Inside PressBox is presented by Friedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Friedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs. Welcome to another edition of Inside PressBox. I'm your host, Stan the Fan Charles. The Sports Legends Museum at Camden Yards contains some of the most memorable artifacts in Baltimore sports history. But after a recent listing by a Canadian website cited Sports Legends as one of the top 10 scariest places to visit, we had to have our writer Charlie Vassalero spend a night at the museum to see just what spirits were present. Charlie will join me later in the show to talk about that night. I'll also be joined by PressBoxOnline.com writer and now sportscaster Tim Richardson. We'll take a look into the business of sports. But just 2 weeks ago, my first guest rolled his way to his 11th regional PBA title, his second in a row at the Hal Lanes Open in New Jersey. Over the length of his career, he has also won 12 national PBA titles, and I'm talking, of course, about my friend and local Baltimore resident, Danny Wiseman. We welcome you to the show, Danny.
It's a pleasure to be here once again, Stan.
Now, what happened to you? Where did you find, Ponce de Leon, the Fountain of Youth, or was it Balboa? Who found the Fountain of Youth?
I don't know what's going on. I still like to compete. You know, it's a competitive spirit in me, and, bowling these regionals, it kind of keeps the juices flowing. Haven't been practicing a whole lot because I've been focusing on my upcoming Danny Wiseman Jr. scholarship event. But when I do practice and bowl, it's fun again.
Well, let me ask you a question, not to compare your career, and it's been a brilliant pro bowling career, but not to compare it directly to Tiger Woods. But one of the tricky things is staying hungry.
Correct.
And also keeping your body ahead of the ravages of time. Does bowling, on the face of it, it doesn't seem like something that age would affect, but it does, doesn't it?
It does. A lot of the older players, they encounter knee issues, wrist issues, elbow, back. There's many things that go on when you're doing a repetitive sport. We bowl a lot of games, so it will take its toll. You know, occasionally you may stick on the approach. You could, hurt a knee, hang in the thumb hole a little bit, hurt your wrist. So
I hate when that happens. I know when we're stuck in the thumb hole.
We're bowling so many games, and it's so repetitive that things can let go. Today's bowler on tour is in much better shape. It's a much more aggressive.
They're trying to throw the ball harder.
They're throwing it a lot harder than when I started, with a lot more on it. So it's these younger kids, when they get to my age, it's going to be interesting to see how they are able to compete.
So when you mention that, hey, I'm not practicing as much because I'm focusing on the Danny Wiseman Scholarship Tournament, which we'll talk about in a minute, could that actually help someone your age?
It kind of does, because it gives my body a little bit of chance to rest, and of course mentally, I know how to bowl. It's like, for me, riding a bike. It's just a matter of matching up to the lane condition with the proper equipment, proper surfaces, making the right adjustments, and then, of course, repeating that shot. That comes down to the mental focus. As with any other sport, if you're mentally tough and your mind is free, you're able to focus on what the task at hand.
When we met last year, I mean, I've known of you for a long time, and we knew of each other.
Same to you.
But we talked a little bit about giving back to the community. Sure. As your career was winding down, you had that time to do it. Tell us a little bit about this, and is there a website people can check this out, the Danny Wiseman Jr. Scholarship Tournament? And don't let the colors fool you. Danny is a tried and true Ravens fan.
Just matches that.
Matches that. But tell us a little bit about
Thanks,
the tournament and the website.
Basically, all the information can be located on my website, DannyWisemanBowling.com. What it is around the country, there are a lot of junior events. And the kids are now able to, unlike when I was a junior, I bowled for trophies.
Right.
The USBC, United States Bowling Congress, created an account system called the SMART account, which basically is called the Scholarship Management and Accounting Reports for 10 pins. What happens is, when these kids bowl, they're able to bowl, let's say, for example, events that have a cash prize fund. Well, they don't get the cash, but what happens is, at the end of the tournament director will write a check to the USBC. It gets deposited into each individual bowler's account.
Like an escrow account.
Basically, yeah. So when they
That
go,
is good for college
absolutely.
scholarships.
So
Okay.
it helps out mom and dad and all that. And in our area, there's really no tournaments. These kids locally travel to New Jersey and Pennsylvania to bowl these events. So a couple of friends of mine, we got together, Bruce and Vicky Machin, Chris and Kim Lane of Shopmakers Pro Shop inside of AMF Country Club. We started discussing it. Hey, let's do something, use my name. Why not? So we formulated the prize fund. We formulated everything, the tournament, when the entries were due and the format.
How can people find out about it?
DannyWisemanBowling.com, my Facebook page. I have a fan page, which is also on my websites. Everything's linked together. We've got some prospective sponsors coming into play. Bowling ball industry has been supportive of it, sending in some equipment. But, I'm looking for local sponsorship also.
All right. DannyWisemanBowling.com.
Correct.
All right. We appreciate your coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you
And we'll
again.
be doing a story on this event coming up. I appreciate it.
appreciate
And the event
it.
comes up in October.
October 14th, 2012.
All right.
AMF
Danny-
Country Club Lanes.
And keep rolling them hard, man.
I'm going to try this weekend again. Go for
right.
3 in a row. Thank you.
That's Danny Wiseman. Coming up, I'll be joined by PressBox writers Tim Richardson and Charlie Vassalaro in 2 separate segments, so don't go away. Inside PressBox is presented by Friedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Friedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs.